In school, you have to make stuff, right? Like you have to do book projects and science projects and maybe even create a speech that you have to give in front of your class. You know that if you've made any kind of project for school, that it takes time and creativity and some serious concentration. But have you ever thought about some of the biggest projects on planet Earth? Like the pyramids or the Eiffel Tower? Those must have taken a ton to create. It's remarkable. But we haven't even mentioned the biggest project of them all, creating Earth and the moon and stars and the entire universe. Can you imagine being the one that created all of that? Me either. Thankfully, we have a record of the creation of the world. In the first sentence in the very first book of the Bible, Genesis, we see that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. This earth that God created, the one that you're sitting on right now, is pretty amazing. Do you know that it's spinning around at 1,000 miles per hour? Plus, it's also orbiting around the sun at 67,000 miles per hour. Yet, we are all standing still, and there is nothing normal about that at all. And this remarkable God not only made the earth, but he also made that raging ball of fire called the sun. Did you know that the sun clocks in at 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit? And even though it's 93 million miles away, it can still melt off our faces when we are at the beach. The sun and earth are incredible things that God created. In Psalm 19, verse 1, David wrote, "The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands." And we can see how remarkable God is by looking at even more than the sun and the earth. In fact, the earth and sun are just two incredibly small, tiny little houses in one tiny little neighborhood in the entire universe. Any idea how big the universe is? It's so crazy big that it has to be measured in light years. But scientists have measured what they can, and so far, they have figured out that the universe is at least 93 billion light years across. And with one light year equaling 5.9 trillion miles, so that's 93 billion times 5.9 trillion miles. I can't even do that math. Oh, and if you decided to count the number of stars in our galaxy, one per second, it would take you over 3,000 years to count them all. And that's just the Milky Way. There are countless stars in the entire universe, so there's no telling how long that would even take. Check this out about the stars. Psalms 147 tells us that God counts the number of the stars. He gives names to all of them. I wonder if any of them have the same name as you or me. It's remarkable to think that God created all of them. He designed them, he crafted them, and he knows all of them by name. How cool is that? Everything in outer space shows how massive and powerful God is, but it also shows just how much he cares about each individual part of his creation. All you have to do is look around this very planet that you live on every day to be blown away. Think about it. This planet God created is anything but normal. I mean, hello people, this place is unbelievable. Let's think about the ocean for just a minute. If you stand on the beach and look out across the ocean, you can't see the end of it. It's huge. Believe it or not, there are 333 million cubic miles of water on planet Earth. That's a mile by a mile by a mile, 333 million times. And don't forget to include all the animals that live in the sea. Do you know how many fish are swimming out there? Me either. In reality, nobody does. We're still discovering different types of fish in the depths of the sea where the sunlight can't even reach. Scientists discovered more than 200 new species of fish last year alone. To think that God designed every living creature on Earth is almost impossible to take in. How did he think them all up? How did he come up with the goat and the peacock, the giraffe, the pug, the narwhal? Wait, is that thing actually real? It's crazy. God designed every animal and every insect. Did you know that there are over 30 million different kinds of insects? And for the squirmers out there, if we counted all the insects that are alive right now, there would be over 10 quintillion. That's 18 zeros, people. Can we just say, ew, I need some pest control? On top of all of that, there are over 70,000 kinds of trees, over 20,000 species of plants that we can eat, and over 10,000 different kinds of birds. After seeing everything that God has created, the millions of plants, the billions of people, and the trillions of stars, is anybody else feeling pretty small right now? To look at all of this and know that you and I are just one itty bitty part of all that God created? We talk all the time about how God loves you and cares about you, but does anybody else feel like he's a million miles away sometimes? If God created everything and knows all of the stars by name and keeps up with how many fish are in the ocean, how in the world can he keep up with what's going on in my life? When you're struggling in school, or you're fighting with your family, or you're simply just feeling lonely and anxious, do you ever wonder if he cares about what you are dealing with? When we think about how big God is and all that he created, it can be really overwhelming. But I have some good news for you that is found in Psalm 8, which is a song that was written by King David. In these lyrics, we see that David, who God himself called a man after his own heart, also found it overwhelming to think about all that God created. And here's a part of the song that he wrote that is recorded in the Bible, and it goes like this. When I consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars which you have set in place, what is mankind that you are mindful of them, human beings that you care for them? You have made them a little lower than the angels and crowned them with glory and honor. Isn't it true that songs so often can say exactly what we are feeling? David's lyrics capture what we have been talking about. When we look at all the amazing things that God has created, what is mankind that you think about us? When there are billions of stars and quintillion of insects and light years of space in the universe, why do you care for us? How is it that you love me, that you know me? It's remarkable that we have a God who is as big and powerful as he is, to have created everything, and he still wants to have a relationship with us, with you. It's remarkable that we know a God who knows the hundreds of billions of stars and knows the billions of details about your life. It's beyond remarkable that he can create a universe the size of which no one can even measure, but it's even more amazing that there is no measure to how much God can do in our own lives. Even though we are a small part of God's creation, he cares about us more than anything else he created. He cares about all this. And he cares even more for you and knows exactly what you are going through. He is not gone, he's not removed, and he is with you and loves you more than you can ever imagine. As you head to small group, be ready to answer this question. What do you think is the most remarkable thing in nature?